Hello, welcome back to A VO's Journey. I want to first off thank everybody for watching the podcast yesterday with Gabby and Kat. Had a lot of really positive feedback. We're very excited, and again, I'm really looking forward to this sorority that we're making, and to answer some of the questions, because we had some of the guys who asked as well. Yes, we are making a fraternity. This is a college. So absolutely. And it's just a lot of fun, and I think a lot of times in voiceover, we need to have more fun. It's fun to do what we do, but as you all know, or you're going to find out, it can be lonely. So with that in mind, today I want to talk about, especially at the end of the year too, the reality that a lot of us feel anxiety in this field that we're in. We have this worry that we're not good enough, that we're imposters, and we're anxious, right? We're anxious not only to get started, but we're also worried, right, that we are going to be discovered as a fraud, right? I mean, this is something I went through a lot when I first started. It was very upsetting, scary, and, I want to talk to you today on why this happens, what it looks like, what it manifests into, and then how to potentially overcome it. So with all that being said, make sure, we have done a soft launch, just real quick, of a VO Journey, and our new kind of rebranding and a new logo and everything. Very excited about that. So check that out at VO's Journey, VO'sJourney.com. Very thrilled. The whole website itself is not completely finished, but the front is very close to being finished. And again, we are the women's group is launching right January 1st, so we're gonna have some really great specials for everybody, because remember, the women's group, the sorority, it's very exciting, but that's just one piece of the overall puzzle of VO Journey Academy. So we're very thrilled about that. And maybe some of you don't know, but the Academy's been going on for 5 years now. We've helped over 1,000 voice actors. It's really quite amazing. And, I think it's been a long time coming for us to, grow and add this women's group. But, we have 4 or 5 live classes every week. They're all archived, so you don't have to attend if you can't. But we have an incredible family. I think that's the basis and the core of this, and we're going to talk about that today. I want to get into the topic, but I do think it's important. I don't spend a lot of time, because we have a lot of new people who find me and find VO Journey, and they don't know what we do, or they might just hear the name, or may never even heard our name, even though we've been around and we're one of the largest voiceover academies anywhere. So it's very exciting. And I feel like I need to force myself to just say what we do, what who we are, where we're from, where we're coming from, and everything. So, but anyways, so with that being said, and of course you can find out all that information more at VO'sJourney.com, but it's important for me to say it here. But let's get into this topic, because part of the things that we do at the Academy, right, as a community, is we help voice actors, especially new voice actors, work through this. So what we're talking about is that anxiety, and I believe that anxiety is created from impostor syndrome. And that impostor syndrome is created, I think, primarily from us not knowing about our audio, how to edit and master our audio, what equipment to get, how to treat our space, where to market ourselves, how to voice act, and what are the different genres, how to know what our voice is good for. Is it one genre for my voice is better than another one? Where do I fit in? And how much money can I make with this? Is it viable? Do I even want to make money? Is it more about, me fulfilling my, creative desire that I have? Or is it all about money? There's so many different goals that we have because we're all different. But one thing that seems to remain the same across the board is our feeling, this anxious feeling that we all have that we're wrong, we don't know what we're doing, someone's going to find out we're a fraud. I had that feeling all the time, which is so funny because I'm like, a fraud of what? I think the finding out you're a fraud is that when we go into this, right, we have to show or claim, right, that, hey, we're professionals. But when you're first starting, it's hard to say that because you might not have done anything yet. You might not even paid to do voiceover. You might be in your hobo fort, which is what I called a packing blankets and PVC pipe when I first started. I had that for about 2.5, 3 years. It was wonderful. I mean, it worked perfectly, until I moved on to a whisper room, and then I moved on to building a studio inside my home. But that was years and years later. So, but, we're worried that people are going to think less of us, like we don't know what we're doing because, we might not know what we're doing. So that is, why we feel this way. Okay. Also, we feel that way because we don't know where to turn for answers. It's funny. You're so much on YouTube, as we know. There's so much on YouTube. I've posted so much, but I've learned that every person's needs are unique to them. The way they learn is unique. And despite being so much, video content out there, it can feel like sometimes it's impossible to actually find what you're looking for. If you experience what I'm saying, please leave a comment and say I totally agree, because that happens to me all the time, no matter how long I am in my business. Even though there's millions upon millions of videos and there's so much on YouTube, it still feels sometimes impossible to actually find an answer, especially particular answers like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then you might find a half answer or a whisper of an answer. It's very hard. So listen, that is a challenge in itself, is actually finding the knowledge, getting the knowledge. And then of course there's all the knowledge that you don't know that you need. That's a big thing as well. And I think all of that combined with this pressure that we put on our shoulders to succeed, okay, and is a huge weight that builds, and it comes out, and we're constantly anxious. We never feel like we can relax. And I think if we don't approach this next part, right, which I'm talking about is about, how it or what it manifests into, and then how can we get past that, you can possibly resent voiceover or voice acting or the business, right? And that's another part too, business, right? I think we recognize that this is a business and that we have to run a business, but many of us have never run a business before. Even if it's just ourselves, it's a business, right? There's a business, there's taxes, there's insurance, there's equipment, there's bookkeeping. There's all of these things that go with running a business. That's different. So yes, it's very daunting. Now, how does it come? So we've kind of talked about all these things. Throw it on the table, be like, yes, those are the things that bother me, all of that. So what does that end up manifesting itself into, right? Well, a couple of things I've seen it really take shape. And by the way, it could be too that, and I didn't chat on that, but I should recently also talk about, I talked really about the voice acting, knowing like what I don't know where I fit in. But, it's also, am I doing this right? Am I, and no one responds to me when I put up an audition somewhere. I don't get any feedback. I just don't get hired. What does that mean? Am I doing this right? The demos, the acting part of this is the basis for what we do. We're actors, whether it's commercials or it's audiobooks, whether it's, e-learning, documentaries, radio, PSAs, whatever it is. It's all acting. We're being paid to perform. So we're actors. So make no mistake, we are actors. So that in itself is very daunting, especially if you've never had any acting training, because you're probably always going to feel like, am I good enough? I don't even know if is my acting okay? So that kind of stuff manifests itself into usually procrastination, meaning like, oh, I know I need to do this, but I'm going to keep researching. Analysis paralysis. I'm famous for this. I don't know if you are, where we just analyze things so much that we end up being paralyzed, okay, and actually taking action. Doing everything but the one or two things we know we really need to do. that's a big one. And I think the last one is that constant feeling of, I'm not doing this right, I'm a fraud, that impostor syndrome, okay? And it all is just constantly anxious. We're constantly feeling anxious. So how can we pull ourselves out of that, okay? Well, I find that there's only, it's really not rocket science. And it's easy and extremely hard, because let's not minimize the challenge. And it takes a lot of courage. Okay, it takes a lot of courage to pull yourself forward. And I use that word, pull yourself forward, or push yourself forward, because it often feels like, we have to almost separate ourselves from ourselves in a way and look behind and say, we're there, we need to pull ourselves, we can do it. But that's very difficult too. So I find one of the best things for you to have is to be a part of a positive community that is there for you, that is tight-knit, that's like a family. And it's just not easy to find. I will admit, it's hard. Sometimes it manifests itself into, I like that word today, manifest. But sometimes it is like a, not responsibility, but a group of people that you get to, right, where you're accountability, right, you're accountability partners, where you can talk, and you meet once a week or once a month, and you share what's going on, and you get positive reinforcement and ways to move forward that you might not have thought about. There's places like, and this is the prime reason why we have Academy Voice, or VO Journey Academy, and why we are so, I think, all in about our Discord community, because it's a closed community. You have to be in the academy to be in it, but the point of it is to be supportive and to be a family together. That is the one thing about that community that I think is different than the majority of all communities. I'm not in all communities, so I don't know how all other ones are, but so many of them, struggle with that. We'll just say that. But in our community, that's what it's about. Whether it's our community or somewhere else, you've got to find accountability partners. You got to find a family, a community that can help you. I mean, listen, we're in a room with padded walls all day long, or whatever you have time to voice. So you need human connection. You need to be able to ask a human a question. I mean, it's, as you know, we just talked about how hard it is to find stuff on YouTube. You need that, and that's one of the best ways to move forward, especially when you have access to like coaches or people who have been doing this for a while, and they can tell you, listen, you're on the right course. This is why so-and-so is happening, and it's not what you think. You're not an imposter. You're not wrong. You're not doing a bad job. Right? Those things are not really what's happening. Is this possibly, hey, our mic positioning could change a little bit. Your mic might be backwards. I know that sounds, a little funny, but it's true. It happened to me in the beginning of my voiceover business. It happened to a lot of voice actors. There's a lot of things. Maybe the space isn't treated correctly. With Academy Voices, and we have our own publishing company, through VO Journey, and we've almost published 200 audiobooks now. We listen to a lot of audio from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of voice actors on like a daily basis, and I tell you, the sound quality is a big component to whether we hire voice actors or not for our publishing company. So there's a lot going on there, and you need feedback, you need help. with it. And and you want a community too that's going to be supportive and not put you down. So if you find yourself in a community where there is some support, but there's a lot of people who are always, putting you down, or you might ask a question, either no one answers it, or there's some, people are giving you answers that make you, make you feel bad. And I don't mean like constructive criticism. We have to have constructive criticism. That's how we grow, right? We need constructive feedback to grow and get better. That's important, but not berating people and putting them down and making them feel bad. Okay. And remember, there's a difference between me giving you constructive feedback, saying, hey, these are some really things we need to work on. This is how we could work on them. Let's work on them together. As opposed to, you're doing it wrong. You suck. This is no good. You're never going to make it anywhere. I mean, so do both of those offer some sort of feedback? Yes. But one is constructive, meaning one is trying to help you grow. Right? It's promoting you to get better. The other one is, just promoting you to go jump off a bridge or something. Like, it feels awful. So you want to find yourself, or you want to remove yourself from communities like that are negative. And it's not fair, because sometimes it's one or two or three people who are very active in their negativity, and it kind of puts it down for the whole group. So you want to be in a place where that's, not acceptable. Okay. So, that's important. So if you find yourself in those places, just remove yourself from them. Okay. Or message the content, people, or the people who are in charge of that group or whatever, and let them know. But anyways, the point is that your community, your group, it's funny because in what we do in voiceover, I always say no one will ever know our name. No one will ever know our face when they're listening to us on the radio or TV or an audiobook. But the people who hire us, the people who work with us on a daily, regular basis, will know our name and our face and everything about us. Okay, so we really are in a unique trade, I think, and a unique service. Because, like I said, the majority of people who consume our stuff will never know anything about us other than our voice. But everybody who hires us, who work with us, right, will need to know everything about us, and they want to. So you shouldn't try to isolate yourself, because it will really come back and haunt you, right? It'll be very depressing. So look, that's it. And again, on top of that, then what it allows you to do, which will ultimately fix that anxiety, and we'll end it here, is taking consistent and right action. This is the key to, I think, the culmination of all of this, right? Is to taking that right action, that consistent action that is going to get results. And those results will build your confidence. The confidence that you get, the courage that you get from the family, the group that you're a part of, will help you continue taking those actions when you feel like nothing's working, when you feel like everything's falling apart, or just like, again, I made the joke earlier today, is this mic on? Like, no one hears me, nothing is working. That family, that group, that support will help you continue, because it takes a huge push, just like a train. The majority of the energy used, right, is on that first start. Right, on that beginning, that push, okay, when a train is getting going, it's the same thing for us. And a lot of times it feels like we're not going anywhere, but we are, and that support will allow you to keep moving forward with your action consistently and taking the right actions, okay, because there's actions that we can take that don't work, but the right actions, and it will build that confidence through the success you will gain. I hope share this video with someone who might be struggling with this. This is something I think, and by the way, this is something we all go through all the time. All the time. It doesn't matter how far along you are in your business. It doesn't matter where you are. We might not be happy to get up in the morning. We might not be happy to come into the booth all the time. Okay? So share this with someone who, could use, a happy pick-me-up and some hope. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Again, check out, our soft launch of VOsJourney.com. It's the first time you're there. That's wonderful. If you've been there before, you'll see, we've definitely are growing. So very excited. And you can always join a VO's Journey, our VO's Journey Academy right now. But we're launching the women's group in on January 1st, and we will be, I guess it's whatever that first Monday is it the second? Can't remember. But anyways, we're that week of the new year, and yes, we are going to have some amazing specials, absolutely incredible specials to join. So it'll be a great time to come to a VO Journey Academy and really grow for 2025. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful Tuesday. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.